Maybe you're not scared of starting over. Maybe you're actually afraid of admitting that life as it is no longer works for you. Okay? It's funny, whenever it comes to life, and I've understood this for myself, one of the things I knew is like, I'm meant to kind of do something a little bit off the beaten path. And, talking to my mom, she kind of said the same thing, right? Professionally, just personally, I was never meant to just be cookie cutter. It just never made sense. I mean, life in itself has never been that. So why the hell would I become that? Right? It doesn't make sense. That's not my pattern. Okay. However, in a lot of ways, I have tried to force myself into this thing that I thought is supposed to be. And every single time I've tried that, I've been met with friction, resistance, confusion. All right. And very cyclical, cyclical reminders that, hey, this isn't for you. And it's funny because a lot of times in our life pursuit, we are so committed to the thing that we may not realize it's a complete contradiction of who we are and what's important to us and what fits and what works. Okay, you can apply this to anything. Okay, and sometimes we think that we're betraying other people, or we're giving up, or we're quitters, and we dig our heels into the ground when it comes to anything, even sometimes a relationship. Like, oh, you're not supposed to give up on this, you're supposed to fight for it. But what if you're fighting against yourself? Okay. And there's a difference, right? There are some people who genuinely do give up, or they are very transactional in terms of how they are moving or navigating spaces. And then there's other times a person is doing things out of guilt, and you'll know. Because how do they talk about it, right? Well, I've been doing this for so long, or I've been with this person for so long, or I've been friends with this person for so long. That is usually an indication, right? Health versus history. There have been times, somebody will come to me, whether it's a professional setting or even personally, they're like, well, this for so long. I'm like, but are you happy? Well, but I don't want to give up, or, I've been doing this for so long, I don't even know what else to do. See, a lot of times we are so fearful of not having control of the outcome per se, right? Stepping into newness means that we don't know what it is yet. And we always treat the unknown like an adversary versus somebody who's probably our biggest champion, right? Oftentimes we go into new spaces with, well, what if I mess up? What if it doesn't work out? Versus saying, what if it actually does? What if this is the best thing for me? Let's go, right? What if things do work out for me? Now what? Now what? Now my whole mental space shifts, and it's like, I can't really run on fear now, because that is going to be inconducive to what I need to do, right? I'll start self-sabotaging, putting both shoes on versus always waiting for the other shoe to drop. One of the things I say to myself, and I've said it to one of my closest buddies, I will always be taken care of wherever I go, because I take care of wherever I go. And I believe that, right? And me being taken care of is not always me being met with a reward or praise or whatever. It just means that I will always be equipped to navigate the space properly, right? Sometimes I will be treated well. Sometimes I'll get the truth of how I'm being treated. I'll get confirmation. Sometimes there's an opportunity there. Sometimes there's a challenge that I step into that is actually helping me to get to where I need to be, right? I will always be taken care of. And this isn't being delusional, it's based in reality. If I look at my life up until this point, that's what it is. I'm always taken care of. So there's a trust there. So even in moments of stress or uncertainty, is like, you know what? If I'm here and if it's here, it's probably for a reason. It's probably for a reason. How about I just trust it for right now? And that is such a different feeling, right? Because it breeds confidence, it breeds trust in yourself. And you don't always leave it to other things and people to outline it for you. You're willing to take some kind of agency. Sometimes we are so fearful of letting go of this thing because we think that, well, what? I'm a failure? Or what? I'm going to be rejected? It's like, by who? Whose voice is playing in your head when you have this narrative going? And what's the truth? Sometimes when we're adults, right, and we're hustling and we're doing our thing, and we fear failure, it's like, what do I fear happening? And is that the kid in me talking, or is that actually me as an adult? Think of the worst thing that can happen if you decided to change jobs or change professions. Being smart about it, or maybe taking a leap of faith, however you want to do it. Right? What is the worst thing that happens? What do you think? Okay. Is it I made the wrong choice? Well, did you learn something? Did you learn that that wasn't for you? Okay. Oh, well, I committed myself to this thing for so many years just to give it all up. Yeah, but were you happy doing that? And who was that for? Okay. Did you do it just because it was comfortable? Or did you do it because you were actually happy and you felt fulfilled? Fulfillment isn't always monetary, and sometimes the monetary goal or desire keeps you in desperation, keeps you in dysfunction, right? What are you doing that genuinely makes you feel at peace and grounded? And again, everybody has their own different modality and pursuit. I'm not saying go out here and be an entrepreneur, because I think if we all decided to be entrepreneurs, society would just crash. So that's not the goal. The goal is to just be fulfilled, be more understanding of who you are and what actually makes you happy, and how often do you commit to that. There's a difference between, living to work and working to live, right? I made it a point to create a life for myself where it's like, everything I do, I enjoy. And it's not play. Like, the stuff that I do is real stuff. I may not always catch that in the moment, but I do realize there's a certain level of importance that comes with what I do. And I value that. But I also feel fulfilled at the end of the day. And that all happened because I've been willing to let go of things that I held on to in my own ego, right? I have to do this, or I have to achieve this by a certain age, or whatever. Everything's going to happen. It'll be cool. Right? But sometimes the highlight reel I have in my head leaves out a lot of important plot points. Okay? You can never fail if you are always looking to show up as yourself. You can never fail if you are always looking to show up as yourself. So think of something that you're afraid to let go of. And what is that tied to? Do you feel obligated to it? And why? And what would a pivot look like? All right? Take care of yourselves. Take your time. And take care of each other.